Colorfence was unknown to us when we decided to replace this fence here. This was way back in 2004 when the old fence, which was owned by next door, was falling down. We offered to replace it, and I was going to use the traditional method of wood, and just by chance we were reading the local paper and saw an advertisement featuring Colourfence that had won a prize at the Blenheim Palace Garden Show. It looked very attractive. My immediate reaction was that it would be far too expensive, but by chance I just also noticed that there was a local fencing contractor about 3 or 4 miles away named James Hunter. I thought, worth the call, give him a phone, and very quickly James came round and demonstrated the product. The main points that decided us to choose Colourfence was its attractiveness, its competitiveness, its durability, withstands winds of, I think it was 130 miles an hour. It would last almost indefinitely, easy to clean, no maintenance, and the contractor really impressed us. Genuine guy. Initially, when we inquired into the Colourfence, we thought it would be very expensive. It just looked expensive, but pleasantly surprised when James came along. I can't remember the exact price now, but it was very, very similar to the high-grade wooden fence I was going to put up. They looked for a small initial deposit and then payment following completion. They may offered me slightly extended terms, but I didn't want that anyway. I was very pleased with just handing over the money to him. Initially, when we had the first fence erected in 2004, I wanted maximum height, and it was explained that I could go to approximately 2 meters, which would give me camouflage from next door. So we went for the maximum. The following year, when we decided to fence the back behind my trees and a small section at the bottom of the garden, I was concerned about blocking out the view of our very dear neighbours, an elderly couple called Tom and Betty. James quickly explained that he could really erect the fence to any height within the 2 meters, and that's what we did with one panel next to our small eating place. They can come and lean over the fence and have a wee chat. A few years ago, when we decided to do the front, we wanted to lower it to complement next door and make it in keeping with everything else. So again, we had it built according to an agreement with the next door neighbours on height. A few months ago, when we put up the solid panel without the trellis work, this was really to give the neighbours privacy. We didn't want to be looking them through the trellis work, so we decided to go for it solid, and again that's worked well. So a very, very adaptable system. When we inquired originally, and again I say this is 8 years ago, there wasn't really a sales team. There was James Hunter. He was a local contractor, and I guess most of his work was wooden fencing. This was a new venture to him, but he came along very, very quickly, very presentable, very professional, a nice guy. Having seen the product at his parents' house, we decided it would go ahead. He explained that if we wanted, he would take the old fence down, he would dispose of it, although I decided to keep that to burn on my fire in the garden. He arranged to come within a few weeks. Within 2 days, which absolutely amazed me, had taken the old fence down, stacked it very tidily, erected the new fence. He had to use extra long posts because of the slope of the garden, and knowing how fussy I am with things straight, he said he would have it as straight as I wish, because that was his normal standard of workmanship, and by goodness he did a super job. The installation process was very efficient, very quick, and the tidying up following erection was exceptionally good. In fact, I was amazed because of the condition of the ground at the other side of this fence. It wasn't the easiest ground to work on, but James doesn't complain. James assesses a job, gives you a decision whether you can do it or not, and once you decided, you can rely 100% on his capability. So very neat, very efficient, very satisfied. I would recommend Colourfence to anyone. I've mentioned it to several people. Many people in the village, I would guess all of them, have seen the fence, and quite a number of people in the village have actually put the fence up because of this. Also, there's several people who've contacted me from far away as maybe Oxford. They've been pleased with what they've seen, and I understand they have subsequently purchased. Regarding what I think of the fence, I am proud of it. I'm proud of my house, I'm proud of my garden. I'm fussy, I like things to look really nice, and I think the fence not only complements it, it enhances it. I notice it every day. I mean, you can't help but notice 24 panels down one side and majority of panels down the other, but it never ceases to amaze me how it looks as good today as it did 8 years ago when it was put up. I guess that in 8 years' time I'll be saying exactly the same thing. I would sum up my whole Colourfence experience as saying, from start to finish over an 8-year period, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure seeing it assembled. It's been a pleasure enjoying its enhancement of my property. It's been a pleasure meeting James, and I would recommend it to anyone.